Geography and Forest Resource Management professor at UBC, Dan Moore is a leading expert on glacial and forest hydrology, including streamside management.
Streamside forests provide shade and other very important services to the stream ecosystem. In particular, they help to maintain cool water, which is important for salmon and trout habitat. In the context of climate change, where we're increasingly concerned about warming streams and the loss of valuable habitat for salmon and trout, leaving riparian buffer strips becomes an even more important practice.
As an advisor to governments and utilities, Professor Moore has had a direct impact on efforts to manage water resources.
We set up with a grant with Dan and UBC, which has resulted in tools and data sets which contribute to the effective water management for hydroelectric power generation.
A substantial amount of the hydroelectric power in British Columbia comes from water that originates from melting glaciers. Many of the glaciers are currently retreating, and with climate change, most of them are projected to continue shrinking. It's important that we understand the effects of shrinking glaciers on water supply to ensure that we do not over-allocate our water.
The Compendium of Forest Hydrology and Geomorphology in British Columbia is considered a fundamental reference for practitioners. Dan was a founding creator, editor, and author of many chapters. He is associate editor of 3 major periodicals and has contributed to 90 refereed publications.
He's developed and expanded a number of innovative methods for stream gauging, including using chemical tracers, and so he's able to gauge streams in places where other people can't do that.
In nearly 3 decades of teaching at McGill, SFU, and now UBC, Dan has supervised 27 master students, 8 doctoral students, and 8 postdoctoral fellows.
I think it's very important for students to have a mentor they can look up to, but that person also has to be a person who's approachable. And that's the important thing about Dan. He's not only got a huge knowledge and a huge experience of British Columbia conditions, but he's approachable.
Dan is the chair of the American Geophysical Union's Surface Water Technical Committee and a former chair of Canada's National Committee to the International Association of Hydrological Science. He has served as a board member for the Canadian Parks and Wilderness Society, and he volunteers on the Burns Bog Scientific Advisory Panel.
My colleagues and I are doing research at Burns Bog looking at hydrology and carbon fluxes. Burns Bog has been damaged through decades of human use. The research that my colleagues and I are doing is supported by the Burns Bog Scientific Advisory Panel, and the intention is to guide the ongoing restoration and mitigation activities that they're undertaking.
APEG BC is proud to present its Meritorious Achievement Award to Professor Dan Moore.